This is the Creatively Geeky Show, the support group for your creative process.
Welcome back to the Creatively Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight I'm joined by Ray and Kris. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Well, some of us are better than others. The Leafs are losing 4-0, and he's grumpy.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to be. It's 4-0.
Oh, absolutely.
It's in game 6 right now, or sorry, game 5.
Game 5.
And yeah, those Leafs just can't fucking figure it out. And hey, that's just par for the course.
I'm sorry about that, man. This is our catch-up episode where we talk about what we've been working on, what we'd like to continue working on. And so we're going to jump right on into it. We do have if you're watching the video version, we've actually got some pictures of some of the stuff we've been working on. So, but if you're listening to the audio version, that's cool too. So I guess who would like to get started? Kris. Okay. Someone got thrown into the bus. Kris, you had finish Logan's room, get back into routine, and work on mulch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I did finish Logan's room. We don't have any pictures because she doesn't like pictures being taken.
Not ours to share.
No, she doesn't like it.
Fair enough.
Anyway, it's all done. We even got her a dresser, secondhand dresser. And yeah, she's slept in it a few times.
Yep.
She likes
she's off of camp now.
Because she's off to camp and sleeping in a cabin. But she really likes it. She's put most of her stuff away. Some of it isn't worth putting away because it's college stuff, so she should just keep it packed, kind of thing. But she's got her little tchotchkes and stuff all set up, and
some
it's
of it's
cute.
in my art room.
some of it, she's bogarted the art room a little bit. But
no, this is downstairs. Y'all moved her downstairs because it's cooler, right?
Yeah, in the basement because initially she was moving home. We live in a very old home. The heat stays in. That's how it's built. Especially upstairs. Just the nature of older houses. Yeah. And her room, for whatever reason, got the blunt end of the stick on that one. And it's just so warm in there. So we were like, let's move you into the basement. Dad put a vent in. It'll be nice and cool for you. And so she agreed. And it looks really good. The color... it's an off-white and it looks really nice down there. I color drenched the whole thing. But yeah, she likes the temperature down there, which is nice, which was the whole point. I am getting back into my routine. Morning is set. I'm pretty solid with the morning, which is nice, which is usually how I need my day. Like I've got a good bookend system happening, which is really good. And now that the weather, I never want to admit that I get the winter blues ever because I love winter so much. I'm very hesitant to be like, yeah, the weather got to me. But it did. And now we're well into spring and it's hot for us this week, relatively speaking. Like it's like,
well, it's
20 something degrees. So that's like 70 something.
No, we're into the 80s.
Are we? It feels like it. Not that we actually are. Anyway, so the routine is happening.
So it felt like 82 here today.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for us, but in the middle of May is very, very warm. We have not acclimatized to that because just a couple weeks ago it was like.
But it only felt like 50 like 2 days ago. 3 days ago.
And we had like a frost warning and stuff like that. So, and then this week, early next week, it's supposed to be down for single digits for us again. So it's all
over the place. Yeah.
Over the place. So, but yeah, I'm liking where my routine's going. I'm also trying to be nicer to myself and realizing that it is a work in progress. I am working towards a more predictable schedule for myself, but knowing that I also need room. Like I can't. It's wonderful having both that live in your head, the ADHD and the autism, because the ADHD needs novelty. We're like, let's do all the things spontaneously, and then autism's like, fuck you, we need routine, and you're just like, oh. And they both live in my head simultaneously. So
They fight all the time.
They fight all the time. So I have it mostly figured out. And then with the mulch, I have 4 bags of mulch collected. I'm going to get more. And then I want to buy one of those spray cans that you can spray upside down for like marking things.
Okay, yeah.
Hard, just so I know roughly how I want to. I have to expand a couple of beds. And then I know I want to put in a couple of pathways. So it's not happening anytime soon, but I am expanding a couple of things. I just want to know for my own
Roughly
visualization. So yeah, I oh my God, I did all the things.
Yeah, you did. Like
it's so long.
You nailed all 3 of them. Congratulations, because I did not.
No.
Awesome. Well, Ray, do you want to go next? Do you want me to go next?
Sure, I can go next.
All right, Ray. So you had develop film, picking negatives, and drawing and painting.
Okay, so we went down to London yesterday and forgot the film, so couldn't get it developed. So that's okay. Like I said, they have an email system, so I'll email them and then they'll send me the shipping label because it's 5 films. It's free, or free shipping at least. So gonna do that probably next week or something like that. We'll figure it out. So yeah, that part, obviously I can't pick the negatives if I don't have them.
You don't have them? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
In the city, and he was just like, and I'm like, what?
Oh, we were halfway. Yeah, we were halfway down. I was like, gosh.
Oh, halfway down. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
I got him.
So I'm not turning around. But speaking of like creativity and art and stuff like that, we did get to go to a really cool part of London, Ontario, which it's called Wortley Village, and we were able to check out a really cool, couple of cool stores, but a really nice art gallery as well.
Oh, the art gallery was beautiful.
Yeah. They converted the apartment upstairs. They've actually just left it, so it looks like empty rooms, but with everybody's art everywhere. And it was actually really cool the way they did it. So
yeah.
So it was nice.
The apartment.
Yeah, they called it the apartment. Like it was just go to the apartment, check out more art. And so you walk up and literally it's art everywhere.
It's art everywhere.
Okay.
Well,
so yeah, a lot of different. It's a good reminder of what like everybody has different styles and everybody's drawn to different styles. And the lovely thing about art is that it's all subjective and it's all fun and it's all that kind of thing. So yeah, so that was good. And then as for our painting and stuff like that, I've been doing the life drawing sessions again, which is good. I got a couple things, got a painting done. Actually, might as well throw that one up. If you
the painting or the other.
Let's do the painting first because so for Arcane, yeah, I was able to go through and so I did some outlining first. I didn't know quite how I was going to go with this one, so yeah, I did the outline first and then did the inking. Got into a bunch of shading. That took multiple tries to make sure that.
Is this with pencil or?
That's ink.
That's ink. Okay.
Ink. Yeah. So the shading is with ink. And then I just used water to dilute the amount. And then that's also ink still. And then I bought a gold pen to go over the high spots. And then wanted to do something that really the character Jinx was kind of popular for, and she always had that monkey and then usually booming around behind her as well in like a neon type of style. So, but she's popular for having smoke bombs too. So I kind of wanted to get that going around in the background. And so yeah, if you keep going, there's your smoke that I was able to kind of figure out a little bit, and then filled in the back with black, and there's kind of your finished product.
It looks awesome, man.
One more thing, but yeah.
Didn't you do glow in the dark too?
I did do glow in the dark. I haven't been able to test it yet. So I have her kind of highlights on her edges are glow in the dark, and then her eyes are glow in the dark as well. And then the boom and the monkey in behind are also glow in the dark.
That's
I
awesome.
haven't been able to test it yet. So
yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for a good day to try and test it, because you got to test it with a UV light or leave it in the sun all day, charge it up, and then test it when it gets dark. So,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to buy a UV light in order to actually. But yeah, that was kind of a fun one. So I was actually really happy with the way her tattoos showed up too, because she's got some tattoos on her torso and her arm. So yeah, so pretty happy with that one. And then so with the life drawing session, I did try my hand at doing a bit of a painting as well. So I did a quick outline, and then I did ink, and then some shading as well. And yes, it is life drawing session, so it is what it is. But yeah, I was really happy with the way that one turned out too. One of the artists was she came over and she does some amazing work, and she was giving me some pointers, and like really liked how I got some of the shading done on this one too. So yeah.
And you said the shading was done with ink as well?
Yes, that's all ink. So that's ink, and then it's diluted with water again. But that was more tricky because I didn't have 2 cups of water to dilute it. I just had 1. So as I was diluting it, it kept getting darker, and I had to be really careful to not overdo it in some areas. So yeah, so that one was a little bit hard. That paper is also drawing paper, so it doesn't hold on to the water and ink as well as watercolor paper does. So that's why you can see more of my brush strokes and everything with that. So
cool. I thought, yeah, like I was wondering, I was like, because I mean, just glancing at it, it looks like pencil. So when you kept saying it was ink, I was just like, wow, okay, that's interesting.
Nope. Yeah, that's so quick outline with the pencil. I have a charcoal pencil that I use for a quick outline. And so I figure out where I want everything, and then I went over with a line. Yep, my brain.
Marker?
No, paint.
Like a brush pen.
Brush pen. So
okay.
So it was a line brush that I did most of it, and then I had a bit of a round brush that I did some of the shading with. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, thanks. So
very cool. Let's see here. As for me, this wasn't very interesting anyway. Let's see. I had work on my new PC and finish my Ecto build. Nothing is done with the PC. No, like there's been no movement on that front. In fact, I'm hoping one thing kind of leads into the other. So I'm slowly but surely going to be buying parts, for this new for this PC build. But one of the things I still need to do is I still need to pay Alex for his parts that I'm using from his one. It's funny. Lewis was just like, you're gonna pay him? Like I would have been like, dude, that's dad tax. And I was just like, no, I'm gonna pay him a little bit of money for it. So but anyway, so that may end up happening by the end of this month, because leading into the other thing, I still have not finished the Ecto build, even though I am literally 1 box, 2 subscriptions away. I'm like, really? Y'all couldn't just get the last 2 in there? Y'all couldn't put 6 in there and just charge me a little bit more? Y'all couldn't have made the last 2 5 instead of 4? Nope. So I'm literally waiting on the last box to come in. And of course, as I'm waiting for this last one to come in, I get an email saying, oh, hey, we're a little behind. Don't worry, it's coming. And I'm just like, again, y'all are literally going to make me wait again just to finish this damn thing. So sure enough, as you can see, the majority of the roof rack is done. If you look on the side, there's some parts that are on the side, they're on the back fender, and they're right up above. That's where the ladder will go, and then 1 additional hose, and then there's a few more things that go on the roof rack. And then this thing will be done. But like I said, I'm waiting for that to happen. So until that happens, I will probably end up using the money that I would normally spend on that subscription to go ahead and pay off Alex. The other thing I did get done, though, is I was complaining last time about how the proton packs, like the wands, were everywhere. So I did buy like some, teeny tiny little magnets, and we're able to stuff them in the wand and inside the pack. And so now they at least somewhat stick on the side of the pack like they're supposed to. So I'm much happier about that. That's one of those things I was just kind of dropped the ball on that, guys. But yeah, so it's pretty much, I'm literally waiting on one more shipment. And then, like I said, as soon as that comes in, I can finish this damn thing. And like, I will probably like close my account. I don't want them to send me anything. I will never buy anything from this company again.
Too, because it's such a massive thing and it sounded so cool, and
absolutely. But like I said, I someone came in the other day and was looking at it. It was just like, man, that's awesome looking. I was like, yeah, the problem is and I turned both of the lights on. It's like, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited to get it done. It's just getting to that point. And so but yeah, that's literally all I've been doing. I have been not having the money doesn't help, but I've also just not been motivated. Like there are certain things I could work on. I'm not doing them. I did have a Ghostbusters event and I was like, oh yeah, I still need to tear apart my ghost pack back here and figure out what that little electronic thing is. I'll get to it eventually when I get the motivation, but I'm just not motivated.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much, all I've been doing. Before we move into this, what we'd like to work on next time, I had a little bit of a topic I wanted to talk about. So one of the projects I had set up for myself, at least I thought I had set up for myself, was my boys are in 7th grade. And at least here in Central Texas, when they hit 8th grade, I think it's still the case. I'm pretty sure it's still the case. They take a half semester class that is one of its career investigations. And the other half of the year that they take it is computer literacy. I don't know if it's still called computer literacy or not. But anyway, that's what I initially taught 18 years ago. Yeah, 18 years ago. I've been with the district. This will be the end of my 21st year. I taught 3 years. I taught computer literacy. And in that class, when I taught that class, there was no curriculum. So I literally went in and was writing the curriculum, in some cases the night before I taught the lesson. But I knew what I wanted to teach. Like I wanted to cover things like Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, basic computer maintenance. Social media wasn't even really that big of a thing, or was barely a thing then. So like that's not something I covered. But I covered tried to get as much basic stuff as I could, computer history, so on and so forth. Well, anyway, my boys are not great with the computer. Like they're like most of their generation, they're used to using their phones or an iPad or something like that. So like when they have to quote unquote type something, a lot of times, especially on their phones or an iPad or something, they just use voice dictation. Like they're just used to using it. And I'm old. I have to stop and really think about it. But even then, I feel like I pause too much in my thought process, and it's, it'll cut off. I'm just like, oh crap, where was I? So I still find I type out most stuff. But anyway, I have no idea what they teach in these classes now. I think there's probably a curriculum that they have to go over. But seeing the students that come into my office now, just having to change their passwords, I'm like, they are not covering basic stuff with these kids. Like these kids they have no idea what a line with a circle around it means. I'm like, that's the universal symbol for power. Mm-hmm. If you look at any electronic device, it doesn't matter what it is, that's the power button. They don't know this. And that's stuff like I would teach. And so for a while there, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back through my original lessons, because I do still have my original lessons. And yep, there you go. And I'm going to update them. And either the summer before or the summer after my boys take this class, I'm going to teach my class, my version of the class.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I thought, well, maybe I probably should do it beforehand. That way, when they get into this class, they should be able to breeze right through it. And I pulled up some of my old lessons and I started going through them. And oh my God, I forgot it was almost 20 years ago. And I was just like, okay, that was just the introductory lesson. So I start going through and I'm looking at it and lessons after lessons. And I'm just like, oh man, like PowerPoint and Word and Excel don't even remotely look like they used to anymore.
No, they don't.
I'm going to have to go back and redo walkthroughs and the handouts and update all of the pictures and stuff. And then I want to add lessons on social media and cybersecurity. And I started getting overwhelmed, and I'm just like, I think I've bitten off way more than I can chew. And I was really stressed about it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. And I went through and I started updating one of the lessons, and I was just like, this is going to take me forever. Like, this is going to take a long time. And in addition to that, what really kind of broke me was I got thinking about it, I was like, am I going to do all of this work for just my boys, just my kids, just my 2 boys? Which I'm not saying that necessarily in itself wouldn't be worth it, but like, am I also trying to force information on them that may not be relevant necessarily anymore? Like, I understand they're going to use certain things, but like, some of the stuff is just really so outdated. I'm like, do they even really need to know this? And so I really kind of wrestled with this in my head for 2 or 3 days. And I finally came up with the conclusion that I think I would be wasting my time. And as soon as I let go of that idea, it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And I feel good about the answer. I think what I need to do instead is, as they come to something, when they start having to type a paper or something, that's when I should step in and be like, here, let me show you some stuff that can help you with that.
Yeah.
Or when they have to do a PowerPoint, let me show you some stuff you can do to help with that. Instead of trying to force it down their throat. Because the other thing is I'd have to do this over the summer, and they're not going to want to learn it. They're just they're going to humor me, but the information, I'm not going to be able to pour this information into their brains. But what I wanted to bring up was, have you built up a project in your head, and then when you either come to start doing it, or really started thinking about it, figured out that, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I putting this on myself? And when you let go of it, that you're just like, yeah, that was the right answer. Like, I'm glad I did not just force myself down that path and probably end up torturing myself and maybe the people I know and love around me. Have y'all run into that, especially with a creative project?
Yeah. My writing. Yeah. I had gotten to the point where I was driving myself crazy because I had put all this pressure on myself, and I felt like I needed to somehow produce something, or else I was this failure, because everybody knew that I was a writer. And so it's the only thing people started to talk to me about. That was it, which was really frustrating, because it was like, oh, okay. Like, no, I've never published anything. You wouldn't have read anything of my stuff. I'm sorry. And it became like a thing. And part of, and a good chunk of it too, was me putting a lot of the pressure on myself to be a success, or whatever that means. And yeah, I stopped. And then at one point, when we were living in the cottage, I told my mother-in-law this, I thought she was going to shoot me. I found all of my old notebooks of ideas and stuff like that, and I threw them out.
You burned them.
I burned them. That's right. I burned them. It was the most cathartic thing I could do, because I'm like, look, it's all gone. It's all gone. And it wasn't until very recently where I was just like, well, I mean, I kind of had a knack for it. Let's just see. I'm in a much different place mentally. Lots changed since then. And I know more about myself, which is huge. And the kids are way older. So let's just see. And throwing all of that away and like forgetting about it for a while. Yeah. Because I had built this whole thing up, and I was stressing myself out. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night. Like, it uncorked something that was like really manic, and I didn't like it, and I got burnt out, and just had to let it all go. It was hard though. It was a hard decision to make too, where it was one of those things where I realized, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. I can't. And so I was like, a little break turned into months, turned into years, and then but it was the best thing. It was good.
I think for me, when we bought this house that we're in now, it was, I'm not doing the roof.
Oh,
I'm not doing the siding.
No.
I'm paying somebody to do that because fuck that. And in fact, we were just talking on the way home yesterday, or it was actually on the way to London yesterday. I have to finish the fence this summer. And, you know, my original idea was I could get a post hole digger, and I said, you know what? Why don't I go and I rent the auger that I can sit in, go drive up, drill the hole, go to the next one, drill the hole. It's just me digging, so I'm saving myself so much time, and I'm just gonna fucking do it. And then, there's a higher cost because but how much time am I willing to waste? Doing it the other way. So yes, there's some money involved. However, the time saved will be worth it in the end.
And your back.
And my back.
And your back.
Yeah.
I'm older now. You know, I am not the 20-something-year-old that can go and dig posts for fun.
Oh God, yeah, I know, right?
And like it's, you know, I feel it when I wake up in the morning and I've slept the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time I put in a fence, now that you say that, I would have been in my late 20s. And I can't imagine trying to do that now. Oh,
no. So, you know, looking at it that way, I'm like, you know what? 15 years ago, I would have done it. No problem. Just give me a shovel, away I go.
I think you did do that 15 years ago.
I at least had the auger, the one-man auger, which is still a beast. And you drilled down with one side and it was weighted on the other end with the engine. So I did use that one at least for the post that time. But that was also in sand, and it was a lot easier. This one, I have no idea what I'm getting into. And it's, you know what? The only person that I think would even try to help me is the old man next door.
And he shouldn't.
And he's well into his 70s, and no.
I think
don't do that to him.
Yes. So, looking at it that way, just doing it a smarter way or changing, you know, completely. So, back to the topic you were talking about. It's interesting you say that because more and more I've seen we need to teach kids now how to utilize AI as a tool. So you say about like PowerPoint and stuff like that. I've used AI this week, you know, create a slide for me for this. And here's the topic. And so it'll do it. And then what I do is I alter that slide to what I want. So I make the changes and make sure everything's accurate. So it's a tool. That's all it is now, right? And that's how it should be utilized. Oh, sorry, we got the.
Oh, something's going on here. So they're waiting for something. Something's passing by, or the dog, or something, or no, not the dog.
Yeah, the fucking motorcycle.
Motorcycle's okay.
And we have the windows open because it's warm. So that's
and
it's the second time that's gone by since we started talking.
It's got a fart can on it. So
fart can,
it's the fart can. Anyway, utilizing AI in such a way to create the document, whether it's an essay, whether it's whatever it is, doesn't matter. Use AI to create it, and then you as the human edit it so that it's accurate, and it also tells what you want it to tell. So,
and see, like, there's still some lessons that stand out that I'm pretty sure won't be taught, that I'm like, this is still, okay. So like the one that I always stand by is, I don't remember. I want to say it was before TED Talks. It was like a TED Talk type thing. And I watched it and I read it. I just remember receiving this information. And one of my biggest, most impactful lessons I used to teach was the 7 rules of creating a good PowerPoint. And once what was funny was when I used to teach that class, the other teachers in the hallway hated me.
Yeah.
Because for the rest of the week and the rest of the year, Miss Smith, you're using the wrong color on that. Like, it's too hard to read from all the way back here. Mr. Jones, your text is way too small. We can't see that on the back. And they're just like, why are these kids critiquing me? And I'm just sitting in the lunchroom going, it's probably because you're making a shitty PowerPoint. So, but like, like I would teach things like, and some of it's basic stuff. You don't put all the text up there. You don't read the PowerPoint slide. It's just supposed to be bullets.
Yeah.
And you're only supposed to have enough information that you're getting the basic information. You're supposed to make it so that everyone in the back of the room can still read it. So don't use a black background with red text. No one can see it.
No.
Don't use pictures as your background if they're full color, because no one can see over that either.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Don't use sound. Or if you do, minimum and very sparingly. And it's funny because when I would show the kids this, I would always, put up slides and I would do the most egregious things to, hammer that home.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember they've taken it out? You can still recreate it, but it takes some work. But do you remember the typewriter effect in PowerPoint?
Yes.
Every single letter.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
I had a full page doing that, and the kids, like about halfway through, were just like, "Mr. Stevens, can you stop?" I'm like, "No,
It's not done
no,
yet.
I'm not. You're going to sit here and you're going to listen to this because this has to be ingrained into you at this point."
Yes.
If I hear of you doing this as an adult, I'm going to come smack you. Like, but like that would still be an excellent lesson to teach the boys.
Well,
and I was like, when they get there, like when they're like, "Hey, Dad," like they've already done a couple of little PowerPoint things, but like when they get to there and they're just like, "Hey, Dad, I'm doing this PowerPoint. Can I show it to you?" Be like, "Sure."
Yeah.
I have some pointers.
Yeah. That'd be a great time.
And that would be a good time to do it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Well, and in the account that you actually shared with me about PowerPoint, because I was sharing it with Logan as well.
Oh yeah.
And Quinn too. And so with that, like, it actually helped me in my PowerPoints at work because I utilized some of that for some of my presentations.
It's gorgeous, and it totally changes things.
He was so proud. He'd be like, "Bet, come look at this," and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, because like most people just go through and they like find like the default themes or whatever. They're just like, "Oh, that one's pretty," and they click it, and just like your PowerPoint looks like every other one that I've seen in this meeting. So yeah.
So, and that's actually one of the things that came out of one of my interviews that got me the job I'm in now. They said we hadn't seen a PowerPoint like that. Your presentation was able to like just showcase what you can do in a different way, and that's what helped them pick me. And I'm like, yeah,
awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, like those are lessons. I'm sure I've got some other lessons in there if I like kind of really went there. Oh, the other one I specifically remember that just blew the kids away was when I was teaching them Excel. The assignment I gave them was they had to come up with like a phone listing, a phone tree or something like that. And I was like, okay, only so many people can have the same last name. Like only half of them can have the same last name. They have to have everyone has to have a single different first name, and none of the phone numbers can be the same, and blah, blah, blah. And I'd have kids. Some of them would get it done because they were focusing. Some of them get a little sidetracked or whatever. And they're spending too much time trying to come up with names or whatever. And we'd get close to the end of the period. And I'm just like, is everyone done? They're just like, no, we're still working on it. I'm just like, guys, what is taking you so long? You just type in the name Stevens and see that little dots on the bottom of the right-hand corner. You grab it and you drag it down, and automatically fills in there. Just went. And I'm like, when you grab the phone numbers, if it's a number, it's going to automatically increment by 1. So if I type in this phone number and drag it all the way down, every single one of these phone numbers is different. And they just like, why did you not teach us that? And it's like, because if you don't learn the hard way, if I just showed you this at the beginning, y'all would just be like, oh, and move on. I'm like, but I guarantee you, every single one of you know it now, don't you?
Yes.
So, yep.
Yeah.
It's so true. You were going to say something. It was surprising.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, it's just surprising that our kids are just that much older than yours that they never used the voice to text. They just didn't because it wasn't available to them with what they were doing at school. And so they know how to type. It's also funny too, because I remember taking a computer class. It was mandatory.
Right.
Typing lessons. Now, and I'm one step above a Luddite. I cannot wrap my head around technology. Anyway, but I know enough to get to do basic functions. I can work around. I know that if something's frozen, I turn it off, count to 10, turn it back on, usually does the trick. And if it's beyond that, then I ask him. But like, it's just amazing. It's almost as if these kids have sort of, they're like boomers almost, in that they know so much about their own devices, but they don't know how to fix them. They don't know how to troubleshoot them. They have no idea how to take them apart or anything like that. Not that you want a kid taking apart an Apple iPod, but just they don't know how to fix them. And I read somewhere that the millennial generation and younger Gen Xers like you, Eugene, are the last generation of people who actually know all about the technology. They know how to
God, that is so true. It's like,
yeah, you use it.
Why the hell am I having to troubleshoot my parents and my kids?
Your kids. Yeah.
So
why is it on us?
You know what? I just had this thought. It's kind of like the late 60s, early 70s sports cars, where that generation, you could take apart the engine, you could fix things, you could time it. They had timing manuals and everything. Like, and like they tinkered. That was a tinker generation.
Yes.
So we've just shifted what we tinker with into the computer age, and so our generation is a tinker age. But either side, because the generation next will likely be a tinkerer of some sort in something, whatever the new technology.
I would be willing to bet that would be software. I bet the tinkering is within software. That's why you have these kids that build entire fucking working computers within Minecraft. Like, how do you build a computer in Minecraft that plays Minecraft? That is insane. But there's someone who's done it, and I'm just like, why? And they're just like, well, why not?
Because I can.
So
I think
that's a good point, Ray.
Could be the next part.
Yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah, it's like it skips a generation, like every other generation, and it's something new, obviously.
Yeah.
But I can't take apart anything and put it back together. Don't make me do that. It won't work. There'll be parts left over.
Fair enough. So, but yeah, like I said, I got to thinking about that, and like I said, I was really kind of beating myself up for a couple of days. So it's just like, you had this plan. Are you being lazy, or are you really thinking this through? And like I said, once I really kind of thought it through, I was just like, I'm going to be putting a bunch of pressure on myself to get this done. And I'm going to be doing something that they're not going to care about. I'm going to be taking away from their summer. I'm like, it would be better for me to wait and see what they learn and then add on to it. Now, the only exception to that is I'm probably going to wait at least one more. I'm going to see what they do in this class, but I have never learned to type. I've never, they never taught it when I was in school. And I didn't even teach it because there was a different class that was supposed to be teaching it. My personal opinion is, and I get a lot of hate for this, but I understand learning to read and write cursive is good for your brain.
Yes.
But no one fucking uses it anymore. If we have time at the end, that's fine. Let's teach them that at the end. But let's teach these kids how to type, because they're going to be doing it the rest of their fucking lives. And it would be so helpful to them. So at some point, I do want to chain my boys to computers and be like, I need you to at least get down a basic level. I'm like, because you have no idea how helpful this is going to be, guys, because you're going to be sitting in class and everyone's going to be hunting and pecking, and you're going to be done and can move on to something else. Yeah. So we'll see. Now, the other problem with trying to learn how to type, and I'm holding up my phone right now, is this fucking thing, because everyone knows how to do that. Yeah, exactly. 2 thumbs. Everyone can run through that. Yeah. But yeah, on an actual keyboard, like I refer to myself as super hunt and peck. Like I can super hunt and peck my way through stuff. But yeah, if you sit down next to someone who actually legitimately knows how to type, especially those people who are like typing, like a secretary, professional secretary, and then they can look at you and talk and they're still going, I'm just like, you're insane. Like you're a wizard.
It's funny you say that, because I am not a great typer by any means. I barely use this pinky finger.
I know, right?
It's here, right? That's what happens.
Like you have to focus and look at it to do stuff.
That's the only time that I use my pinky fingers is the shift key. I swear that's it. Mm-hmm. That being said, When I so there are times when I have to scribe for work. So I'll be in a meeting and I have to scribe, and so I will be typing what I'm hearing and kind of translating it. And where I'm typing is actually up on the screen where everybody can see. So I'm typing away and I'm looking at the screen. And I've had a couple of people like, "How are you doing that in front of like 20 people?" And I said, "I don't care about the mistakes. I'll fix them afterwards."
Yes. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of ask that question if there was anything that like you said, you put on yourself and eventually talked yourself out of. And then once you did that, you had the realization, I made the right decision.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like I said, I just had this grand plan. It was one of those things. I think part of it was because I'd always thought I can't wait to be able to teach my boys this class. Cause I taught this class and I get to teach them. And so, but I've already had plenty of time sitting down with homework and going over math. Especially new math.
Yeah.
So
new math is not a thing.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's math.
Nothing has ever spoken to a father like that scene in The Incredibles 2. When he gets pissed off, it's like math is math. I think every dad would just like felt that to our core. Like, and probably every mom that's run into that situation as well. But something about dads, just what do you mean they changed math? No, math is math. So, but anyway, all right, let's talk about what we'd like to work on for next time. Would anyone like to go first? I've actually got mine written down if y'all want me to go first. But,
yeah, go ahead.
All right. Hopefully finish the ecto. I mean, it's going to be 2 months from now. Surely the parts will come in by then. So I want to work on that. I literally have the boys have that. Next week is the last week of school for them. The day after that's the next week of school, is the last day of school for Christy. And then I still have several more weeks at work, but we're all in this household working on trying to get to summer. So that's what we're working on. That being said, I don't really plan on trying to take on any projects except for like small stuff around the house. Like there's some little things here and there I need to take care of. I may be swapping around some televisions and taking care of some stuff doing that. But other than that, like I don't have the money or the motivation right now to really do anything. So I'm just kind of chilling really. And every so often I see something that like, kind of gives me a little inspiration. Like, I guess I can I'll add one more thing on there. Finish the Captain Rex helmet. So I can finish the Lego from here to there. Right. So I'll add that one. So, anyway, all right, Ray, what would you like to work on?
So, the other day I was able to get a couple of blank skateboards.
Okay.
So I want to at least plan out what I want to do with that. I think what I'm going to try and do is some wood burning of some sort.
Oh, okay.
On one of them.
So are you getting a wood burning kit?
I haven't figured out the part yet.
I was going to say, so are you going to buy a wood burning kit? Because I mean, they're cheap. They're like $20. They're nothing. Or are you talking about trying to hook up to a car battery and let it burn its way up there?
There's 2 avenues I could go. One is the wood burning kit of some sort, or the other option that I've thought of is utilizing a torch as well, and having some fun with it that way, and really trying to be careful with how I torch and shade. And the other option too is use the torch the whole thing, and then sand in the new.
That would be fun too. Yeah,
I think that might be kind of interesting as well. So trying to decide which the best way would be. I might do some test spots and kind of go from there. So
I was gonna say, if you got some old plywood or something sitting around, might be a good way to practice with it first before you kind of see how it goes. But yeah, that's another good idea. Is you could always sand it back out to get the.
Yeah, so trying to figure out the best way to do it. So at least having a plan for that. Other than that, probably. So this isn't on the list of things that I should be doing, but it is kind of creative. I have built a structure to support the leaning tower of roof that we have all over top of our porch because it was correctly in the first place. So I have to drop that. This in the coming day. I think this long weekend might actually be a good time to do it. So, so I'm going to drop that, and this is a couple months from now,
July.
Yeah.
So
Start the fence.
Sorry.
Start the fence. Fence.
Yeah, we'll stick with the fence.
The holes drilled.
Stick with the
I'll
fence.
put down start the fence. I mean,
and continue with lake drawing as well. So,
yeah.
Nice. What are you thinking about, Kris?
Well, collecting more mulch. I will be collecting mulch until the garden center's close, until I can buy no more mulch. Except I need natural mulch. Everybody wants a natural mulch. Also, the red devil, the red dyed mulch goes pretty quick. Same with black. Anyway, I just feel like you're cooking your root system if you're putting black mulch on stuff.
I was trying to get her to buy the cocoa husks.
Oh no!
Because they smell.
They smell so good. They're
it smells like chocolate.
It does. I don't know what it is. We used them at one of our houses before, but
it's cocoa husks.
Yeah,
it's literally chocolate husks.
Yeah, but they're a mess. They're a mess, and it's very expensive. So it smells. Yes, honey, it smells delightful. I'm so happy that you like that smell. I like the cedar smell. Anyway, so I'll be doing that, and I'll probably have and buying that spray paint to map out that. Everybody's out tonight with their
I know, right?
noisy vehicles. Sorry about that.
We're good.
And then so it's an ongoing project that I just recently started that will hopefully become an everyday thing that I do. Were you wondering where I was going with that?
A little
bit. So about a month and a half ago, I decided, okay, big transition point in my life. I've been a stay-at-home mom for a very long time, the entire time. I've got one kid who's already off doing her own thing, which is wonderful and beautiful. I got one kid falling right behind her. And I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do with myself? And so after lots of thinking, lots of agonizing and stuff like that, trying to find something, many conversations with this guy, just holding my hand. Because it is a big thing. And when you're a stay-at-home parent, you don't lose a lot of yourself, but kids are a really fantastic distraction.
Yeah.
And so I've been distracted, being wonderfully so. It's been great, but it's time that my time with that is coming to an end in the next couple of years. So what am I going to do with my time? And so I, fiddling around, do I write? Do I go back? Do I try and find a job outside the house? What do I do? And so I don't know how I came to it. But I found, there's this website called Substack, and I was like, oh, Substack. Because I was thinking about Wattpad, but Wattpad was very overwhelming. It was very, very overwhelming. I didn't like it. I'm like, no, thank you. So I came across Substack. I'd heard about it online, and I was like, okay, so I checked it out. It's very, I won't say very user-friendly, because nothing for me is user-friendly. Like nothing.
Okay.
I find a way to make it difficult for myself. But and then another conversation that we had was like, okay, so this is what I want to do. I'm going to start writing a weekly newsletter and publish it every Friday. And it's going to start off as free for a good chunk of time. And then when I feel like I've got a good base, I can start figuring out what a subscription would look like and start doing that. So I started it about a month ago. I have 4 posts. I'm working on my 5th one right now. And it's given me sort of this new direction of like something to put my focus on. So yeah, I think this is how you find me. It's krisaandrew.substack.com. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't know 100%.
Well, when you figure it out and you want to start sharing it.
I think it's what it is. I have my first subscriber. It's actually somebody that I know from my old writing days. And she was a pretty groovy lady back then. And I don't know how the hell she found me. I have no idea. I haven't figured out the tagging thing yet. I haven't. I liked a note, which is sort of like this status kind of thing update. It's sort of set up like Twitter, I think, feed. Anyway, it's free. I enjoy free things off the internet. I always like it when people post free their recipes in the cat. I love that. That's my favorite thing. So yeah, and so eventually there'll be a subscription part, but the newsletter part will always be free. And I thought this would be a good way to get me into writing again. I had a blog before a long time ago. But again, blog sites, they said user-friendly, and I found a way to make it not.
Yeah, they were so-so.
They were not. It was and the way you had to write your blog, like with SEOs and that whole thing, was incredibly overwhelming. Yeah. And then with Substack, there's none of that. So I thought this would be a great way for me to start, like 500-word blog posts, really light, just not frivolous, but just, it's just me kind of in my stream of consciousness. And I'm not a very controversial person, so there won't be any hot takes for people to argue with in the comments.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So the first one was just an introductory. Then I did one on my favorite books from 2020. And then one was about how I like the rain. And then my last one was how I shouldn't watch reality television. And then this one I'm working on is being a type B+ person, which I just learned that term. And I'm like, that's me. That's exactly me. So I'm writing about that. But that's what I will be working on for. Yeah, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm excited. It's given me like a little pep in my step, and I look forward to figuring out how to do this. I'm being very cautious this time. I'm being very slow, very intentional. I'm not looking to have like 1,000 subscribers by like the end of the month or anything like that. I was happy when I had the one. It's amazing. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm pretty sure I think I understand how to link it. And what
fair enough. All right.
It's called. I think I know. I think it's called Kris's Stack. I think that's what it's called. I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm like, well, here we are now.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Kris's Substack?
I think so. Or Kris's Stack. I don't know. This is how little technology, like how, nope, that's not me. Not I have no picture either. I'm like, I don't know what picture I want. Somebody was, and I've been watching videos and stuff. And so eventually it'll get more in, like, I'll be more involved in that community, but I'm just trying to get into the habit of putting something out every week.
So one of the podcasts I listen to, Politics. The guy who hosted, Justin Robert Young, got invited. He recently moved over within this last year. He moved over to Substack from Patreon because Patreon changed the way that they're doing billing and stuff. So anyway, he got invited to a big party they had in Washington for all of these mostly former writers and stuff that have moved on to Substack. They've lost their job at whatever business they were at or whatever. And he was saying, he's like, the most weird, incredible thing has happened. He goes, I wasn't invited to this. He goes, but one of the guys that was at the Substack party, he's like, it was freaking huge. He's like, there's all these like big time people, a lot of them that used to like work for CNN or whatever. Like, they found a new home. They're now doing Substack stuff. And he was talking to one of them. He goes, yeah, he said, I was actually just at the White House press conference, the big press thing that they do. And he's like, it's like everyone's puppy was dead. Like they were all just like, yeah, well, this is kind of the state of journalism now or whatever. And he's like, I'm over here at this party. He's like, and this is the place to be. He's like, I really think this is where journalism is going to move because, people don't want to pay for advertising, which means, the big companies can't employ people, especially actual journalists that want to do journalism. And so they're striking out and they're doing their own thing. And they're just like, yeah, if everybody will chip in a little bit of money and pay me, I can survive and still do what I want to do. And I don't have, a advertiser telling me, oh, sorry, you can't report on that because it goes against, our product or whatever. He's like, fuck it. You report on what I will report on. If I'm going to end up going after General Mills, so be it. Like I'm not worried about it anymore. So it's definitely kind of a big thing for writers right now. So that's cool that you're starting over there. So
thank you.
Yeah. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please give us subscribe, do that whole thing over on YouTube. If you're watching us over there, if you're not, and you're listening to the audio podcast, that's still awesome. Still love you there. I'm still continuously putting out reels and shorts from the shows. So you can find us on social media doing that. You can find those reels and shorts on Instagram and Facebook. And then of course on YouTube. It's funny, like there's very little that transfers over. So like literally we've had reels or shorts on YouTube hit 500 some odd views, 600, 700 some odd views, one new subscriber. So
I think I know where that subscriber came from. I think it's one of Logan's roommates, or did we already just?
No, that one's already been there. It's probably Pat. So Pat, if you're listening, really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we do appreciate it, man. That's awesome. But yeah, so like it's it's funny the amount of views and stuff you get on that stuff. And what's funny is I do go back and linked it. Like whenever you're putting up a short, you can say, does this pertain to a different video? So of course it's, a small 30-minute long segment from one of our shows, and then it links back to the actual show. So it's like, hey, if you like this, here's the entire episode. But we'll see. Cool. Like I said, I'm still having fun doing it. As long as it's fun doing it, I'll continue doing it. But when it becomes a thing, it's just like, all right, I don't really want to do this. I may just be like, oh, I'm done. So we'll see. But yeah, if you are listening to the show, give us a 5-star rating wherever it is you're listening to the show, whether it be iTunes or wherever else. You can subscribe to the show as a podcast on YouTube as well. That's a thing. And of course, you can check out our website at epicallygeeky.com. There you can find all of our shows that we do, including the Marginally Geeky Show, Creatively Geeky, Epically Geeky, and Sustainably Geeky. And then, like I said, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Epically Geeky as well. Where can we find you online, right?
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram and Blue Sky, because I always forget to post over there. But, same old.
Same old. Kris, what about you?
On Instagram at Moody Midlife. And then when I figure out what my Substack handle is, I'll start saying that.
Well, there we go. And as always, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene. For everyone on the site, have a good night.